Hello, I welcome you all again to this channel where we'll discuss immigration, travel, job opportunities, international scholarship, career growth, interview tips, and how generally you can actually succeed in your career. Basically, what we'll be discussing just now is how you can use the right phrases and words at work with colleagues and in your team so that you can have a good relationship with your co-workers and you can build your team on that. So basically, everybody wants to be respected when being, you know, um, when a conversation is going on, and everybody generally wants to have that situation where a conversation is positive and all that. So one of those things you want to do is that basically respect and in different conversation and languages differ from languages to languages. Like in English, there are ways that you want to choose your words that actually show respect, and this is what happened also in different other languages. I speak Arabic, I know what it is in Arabic, even in Hausa, and in Yoruba, that's which is my primary language. So there are different ways you show respect, and so this actually builds your team. It helps to forge your network, a stronger tie with your network. It helps to strengthen your collaboration with others. So basically, we'll be looking at some of the example and what you could do. One of those things you want to do, which is the first thing, is to use positive language. The sure way to do this to show that's actually the sure way to show respect and be polite with other. For example, if you want to, say that I'll give these two example, and you would also say which one is actually better. Um, when you say stop, let me take a moment to think. That's an example of a way to say something like, okay, somebody is actually talking to you, and you wanted to maybe process what they are saying. So you want to say they should wait a moment, that you want to. So if you put it that way, that stop, or stop for a moment. Let me. So another way to also put this is, could you stop? Could you please stop for a moment? Let me just take a moment to think through what you're saying. Could you? I'd have. So if these two example, you would see that the first one is actually like a command. So while the second one is more like a request. So one of those ways you want to be polite in your choice of words is to use positive words, like I have mentioned, and the one of the ways you can do that is to try to request, rather than command. So could you wait a moment? Let me take a little time to think through what you're saying, or stop first. Stop, let me try and think through. You will see that there's actually a difference, and the second way of putting it would have actually been the better way to put it, and that's person you are having conversation with would feel better. So that's one of the ways you could use these positive words. Another one is another example is produce where, okay, minimize negative. Okay, so the second one, the second strategy, or the very if you are actually giving a feedback. For example, you are at you are a supervisor to somebody, and you needed to give feedback on their action or their performance. You want to try and minimize negative connotation. So rather than say, for example, I'll give an example here as well. So, for example, you want to give that feedback, and let them do better. For example, so if somebody has brought up an idea, and you feel it could be better, so one of those things you don't want to say is, I don't think that is a fit for what we're doing, or I don't think that's the way to do it. So when you say that, you have actually said English, but in terms of the positive communication that we're talking about, it will not actually be right. So what you want to do is to say that, oh, I understand you've put in a lot of effort in doing this. However, I think when we do this, it will help us to do that. You don't want to say, another example is, maybe somebody is to complete a task, and you it's taking a long time, so you don't want to say, oh, this task is taking a long time to be completed, but rather you want to say it in a way that it will not feel, they will not feel like, they will feel better about what you're saying, even though you're still passing the same message. So, for example, you want to say that, oh, I think this is taking too long a time than I expected. So you could actually put it that way, that, oh, I think this task is taking too long a time than I expected. So you are actually passing your message, but in sort of a subtle way, in a way that that person you're having a conversation with is still feel good about what you're saying. So another very important strategy is being sincere and showing interest in what other people do. So at work, in your workplace, colleagues, classmates, you want to sincerely show interest. So one of the major way you can do that is to ask open-ended question. When you ask open-ended question, it brings about conversation, establishing a relationship, and keeping the relationship you've already had. So you want to ask questions like, tell me about that task that you completed. What was it like? So that person is happy to tell you about it, and is happy to share the conversation with you. Another question that you could ask, so this is a type of an open-ended question. So it gives room for the person to begin to tell you things. So another one is, how was your experience with that conference? How was your experience with the presentation? What was your experience with? So these are questions you could ask, and they are called open-ended questions, and it gives room for conversations to start. And sometimes you also we'll be talking about how you can actually end conversation as well. So you should also know how to end conversation. This is important. Another, when giving feedback, another very important one you want to do is to use I, use of I, to validate you. This is actually important. And how do you do that? For example, somebody had actually completed a task, or done, or has just done something. So rather than say, this that you've done is not okay or something like that. You want to say things like, I notice you're great at this, however I think I'd like you to improve more on that. You see that you use I, so this I are actually important. So very importantly, you want to say things like that. I am Another one you could say is, I am impressed with your performance, or with your performance on this particular project. However, I feel you would need to get improvement in this, or you need to get trained in that, or something like that, depending on what the conversation is. And the last one is actually to show um, support and gratitude, and show compliments. So when a colleague finish a task, you want to show some level of support. You want to show that you actually care about what they have done. You want to show that you support their activities, or maybe at work, there are, maybe you've had an hectic week or something like that. So you want to actually acknowledge that, in your conversation, to say that, oh, I thank you for the effort you've put in the last couple of weeks. I know it's been very tough for the team and all that. So you want to say things like that. I appreciate, I am proud of, I you had you gave a fantastic, so things like that, you want to say them, just to encourage that other colleagues, or a co-worker. So these are the ways you can use English phrases that will show respect at work, that will show that would help you to strengthen your network and relationship with others. And this is how you can actually do these things. I'll stop this here, and I want to believe the content is going to help somebody out there. So do well to click on the like button, the share, and put down your comments. Thank you, and have a nice day. I'll see you in my next video.